One time I accidentally left my house without my hijab on. Now, before you guys come at me, I have a reason for why I did this, and I'll get straight onto it. So basically, this topic came up when I was doing my live, and someone asked me how long I've been wearing a hijab for, and I talked about how I've been wearing the hijab since I was 8 years old. Never took it off, but that's wrong because one time I had to. Not because I wanted to, but I'll tell you guys exactly why. So this is when I was on maternity leave 2 years ago. So my daughter was only a month old. She was literally 5 weeks old, and I was home. Obviously I was home with her and I was eating lunch, so she was fast asleep in her cot. This is why you should always make sure the cot is always safe, because I'll get to why. But basically she was in the cot by herself sleeping, but it was completely safe. There was no cuddly toys, there was no blanket on her. She was born in the summer anyway, so she was pretty much sleeping with nothing in the cot, so she was completely safe, and she wasn't on my bed or anything. And I was eating, and I'm Indian, so I like to eat with my hands, so this is an important part. And whilst I was eating, the doorbell rang. So my husband had ordered a parcel. It wasn't through Amazon, because if it was Amazon I would have known the parcel was coming, but it was from, I think it was like his protein shake or something. It was from another like company. So he got the text saying it's going to get delivered, or it's being delivered, and he said quickly go and get it. He called me within like 2 minutes before the doorbell rang. And the doorbell rang, and because I was eating, I was stupid. I didn't think to go and wash my hands. This is important. So I had my hand like this, because my hands are literally full of like food because I was eating with my hands. And I thought, okay, let me go to the door. And another mistake that I did is I didn't grab like a hijab or anything. So what I did is that we have 2 doors. We have double doors. So the first door is our private door to our flat, and then the second door is directly in front of the main door, but there's like a gap where we have our shoes and stuff. And there's a second door because we share that main front door with the upstairs tenant, because there's also a storeroom there in that little space. So between our private door and the front door there's like another storeroom, and we share that with the upstairs tenant, and that's why we have 2 doors rather than 1. So I thought I opened my first door, so the private door that opens in our flat, and I didn't open the first door, and I said through the door, because I wasn't wearing a hijab, I told the guy, can you please leave the parcel, because we live in the basement flat, so unless someone comes down the steps they can't see me. So I thought, because I wasn't wearing a hijab, I said, can you please leave the parcel outside, I'll collect it in a minute because I'm not wearing a hijab. Like I said that, and I can see the guy from out the window as well, so I can but he couldn't see me because the curtain was drawn. And he was like, okay, and he left the parcel right in front of the door, like the main door, and he left, and I'm standing in front of the main door, but like outside of my flat door. And then after he left the steps, he climbed up, he left. I opened the main front door. No one can see me because no one's down the stairs, like down the basement stairs. And this is a dumb thing that I did. Instead of like grabbing the keys or like making sure the door, because both doors they shut by themselves if you like don't wedge them with like a door stopper or something. But what I did was I was balancing, because you know, one hand I had food in my hand, like I was eating like a curry, so my hand was gross. I didn't wash it, so I was holding my flat door open with my foot, like back of my heels, and then I reached out, it was on the floor, the package, to pick up the door, and guess what happened? My private door, the flat door, shut. And I didn't have my phone on me, I didn't have keys, I had nothing, no hijab, nothing, and I didn't even wash my hands. I was literally like this. So I had my main door open, I can access the shoes in the storeroom, but I couldn't access my flat, and my baby, my 5-week-old baby, was fast asleep in the house by herself, but I was right outside the door. There was a camera where she was sleeping, but again, the camera access is on my phone. My husband also has access to the camera, but he's at work and I can't call him. He's an hour away. And for a second I had a panic attack. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like, the main door being open does nothing for me, because I can get in through the first door but not the second door. That's the main door, like main door to my flat. I was freaking out, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? And at first I was like, shall I maybe stand near the stairs, because no one can see me at this point, and wait for a lady, because you know, women can see my hair. Can I wait for a lady to walk past so I can call her and explain that, you know, I'm not wearing a hijab, can I please borrow your phone because I got locked up? Because my mom has a spare key and they live like 15-20 minutes away if you walk. But then I thought, I was literally wearing, like, because I was on maternity leave, I haven't slept, so I had bags underneath my eyes. I was wearing an old nightie. It was like a maternity nursing nightie as well, so it wasn't even like, it was like quarter of length sleeve, it was like up to here, but it was like, it looked gross. I was crusty and dusty. I haven't showered for days. I had a newborn, and my hair was in a messy bun. Like, I was not prepared to be outside. So if I was standing in the basement, like underneath, and I was calling to some lady, she's probably gonna think I'm some kind of crackhead. Like, I'm not wearing my hijab, I don't look decent. So I thought to myself, if I saw someone like me standing under the basement, refusing to come up, calling me down to help, give my phone, I probably definitely wouldn't. Actually, I definitely wouldn't go and help because I'll just be suspicious. So I thought, okay, that's not gonna work either. And then I thought, there's literally a shop, so 2 minutes down from my house, there's like an off-license vegetable and fruit shop. It's like a halal butcher's as well, but they have the vegetable stores outside. And the guy who works there obviously knows me because I've been living on my street for years and years and years since I was a child. My old parents' house was also like down the road. So the people like that have the off-license shop, they know me. Obviously with my hijab, but they still know me. And I didn't know what else to do, guys. Like, what would you have done in that situation? My 5-week-old baby was locked in the house by herself. I was outside, the window was not open, and there was no way I can get my fat ass in through a window. It wasn't even open anyway because I was home alone. I didn't have any windows open in the front room because I was scared someone might come in from the outside, obviously. So I only kept like the room window slightly open, so that was open as I was worried about that, like some bugs might come in from the garden. I was scared, and she was alone, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So this is like within 5 minutes after, not even 5 minutes, like 3 minutes after I was locked out, I decided to run to that shop because there's nothing else I can do. Because he knows me, because even though I look like garbage, he still knows me. So I ran over there without my hijab on. Imagine, this is 2 years ago. And the minute he saw me, I think he realized what was going on, because he can see I was holding my hand like this. You can see there was like food bits on my hand. So gross, right? I wasn't wearing no shawl, no hijab, nothing, just like crusty nightie. Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. And I quickly explained to him, I said, I'm locked out. He knows I have a baby. He's seen me with my baby. He's seen me when I was pregnant. I was like, my baby's inside. I got locked out. I don't have my phone. Can I please borrow your phone to call my mom? And he knew right away. Thank goodness. This is why you should memorize like key people's phone numbers. I have my mom, my dad's, because they've had the same phone number for years. Their phone numbers like memorized, and my husband's phone number memorized. But my husband's an hour away at work. There's no way calling him doesn't make sense. So I called. Thank goodness my parents were home. I called my mom, and he gave me this old ass button phone. So I was scared, even if she doesn't pick up because it's a random phone number, I can't even like shoot a voice note on WhatsApp on his phone, because he literally had like a button phone and there's no way he has WhatsApp in there. I was like, okay, and I called the number. Thank goodness she picked up. She was on Instagram or something. She was scrolling. Thank goodness she did, because she was like, my dad was there as well. She said, when the call came, she told my dad she's getting a random call from a random number. And my dad was like, oh, don't pick it up. It's probably a scam. But she was like, oh, I'm going to pick up because it's an '07 number. Obviously, it's a personal phone number. And she said, someone might need something. She just had a feeling that she should pick up. Thank goodness, alhamdulillah, mashallah, she picked up. I mean, I would have called my dad anyway, like I memorized his number as well, but still, she picked up within like the first like few rings. And I was like, the bus was so loud, I was like trying to scream into her phone, oh my god, I got locked out. This is within like less than 5 minutes after the door got locked, by the way. So my baby wasn't alone for too long, and she was fast asleep. She had no idea she was alone. She was only 5 weeks old anyway. And I was like, I got locked outside, I was eating, I came to get a parcel, quickly bring the keys out. And Zia's by herself. And then my mom was like, oh my god, okay, we're coming. And luckily my brother was home as well, because I think it was like half term or the weekend. No, it wasn't weekend, it was half term, because my husband would have been home if it was the weekend. She then gave the keys to my brother. He came on his bicycle, so he came within like 3 minutes. He was racing apparently, because my mom told him, the baby's by herself in the room, in the house, and your sister's locked out, she's not wearing a hijab, go quickly. So my brother, he was literally panting when he came. His face was bright red because it's in the summer. I was like, thank you so much. And yeah, and he came, and he gave me the keys. I opened, I went in. This all happened within like 8 minutes, because it took me like 5 minutes to like figure out what I was gonna do, because I was outside panicking. And then I went to the guy, and then I explained to him, and within like 3 minutes my brother was there. Even though it takes 20 minutes to walk, he rode that fast, because it's like residential area, so there's not many cars. So I'm guessing he just came so fast. And I was like, oh my god, how did you get here so quick? Because I thought it would take him around 10 minutes, and I was gonna like stand outside the window and listen to see if she was crying. Thank goodness she didn't wake up. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, she didn't wake up. And that was literally like 10-12 minutes of me being outside without my hijab on. But what would you guys have done in that situation? There's nothing else I could do. I mean, I can call the police or the fire, that's to like break the door. But I knew like someone had keys. And I do have my aunts living much closer to me than my parents. They live like literally 5 minutes on the road. I could have run to their house, but I didn't want to be outside in public without my hijab for too long. I wanted to limit the time. Plus, even if I went to them, they don't have spare keys. My parents have spare keys. So if I went to them, I'd still have to, it would just be longer. I didn't want to leave the house far away from my daughter. I had to be close to the house, and I had to make sure I called my mum, but being close to the house. And the closest